Welcome to the Thrift Store Kitchen Review, where I test all the weird junk from the thrift store so you don't have to. Welcome to today's edition of the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. Learning how to cook international foods at home can be fun. For some of us, there's a joy in doing the research and learning how to do it the right way and getting the best result possible. For others, there's shortcuts out there, and today I have one of those. I picked up the Ambiano Churro maker, and I got this one at a Goodwill in Roswell, Georgia for only $8.99. So let's go ahead and unbox our churro maker. Ambiano, if you've ever heard of the brand, is one of Aldi's house brands, so it probably comes out for a week once or twice a year if you know how Aldi works with their Aldi finds. I've owned some Ambiano products before, and to say the least, they're a mixed range of quality. They go from mediocre on the high end to just outright bad on the low end. Personally, I'm not really a fan of Aldi to begin with. I know a lot of people are. In my experience, their stores are usually really dirty with really poor customer service. So I generally don't shop there, but let's take a look at what we have in this box. Here is our churro maker. Wow, so instead of, engraving it on here, look at this sticker. It doesn't even stay on. Just, wow. No expense was spared here. Basically, it's another waffle iron setup device. You open it up and it has 4 little lanes that you bake your churro in. You're supposed to fry churros, but in this one you have to bake it. They're not even all that wide. Like, aren't churros wider than this? So there's really not too much to this machine, but I got some churro mix and we're gonna see what results we get out of it. Okay, so first we have to make our churro mix. I went and bought some Tres Estrellas brand churro mix. That translates to 3 stars, which is probably a higher rating than this machine ever got. The instructions are really simple. Basically, I take the mix. There's already a piping bag included, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the mix in the bowl, trying not to spill this. That is a lot of mix. There is no way I'm making all that. But after this, I need to add 2 1/4 cups of boiling water. Okay, I got my boiling water right here. Add that real slow. And that says to mix this batter up for about 20 seconds. And it said to do it by hand and not in the mixer or anything like that. Okay, should be good there. I'm going to go ahead and throw this pot in the sink. Okay, now it's time to add some to the piping bag. Now, in order to make this easier, what I did is I put the bag over a cup. That way it'll stay open. According to the box, the dough is supposed to look like this. It's supposed to be lumpy, not very elastic. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get enough of it in here, and then I'll plug the machine in. All right, that should be about enough to start. So I'm going to get the machine plugged in. And then once that green light comes on, we're going to try making some churros. Okay, the machine's ready to go. Now, I got a little bit of a problem here. That piping bag that came with the mix, that thing, the tip is just too small or something. But when I tried setting it up and just did a test squeeze, it busted the bag open. So we're gonna have to just make do with what we have. Now, I've already gone ahead and sprayed this. I'm guessing what I could do is just squeeze the churro batter into the little receptacles and see how well we make it work, because that's really our best hope with this right now. So that's going to be churro number 1. Didn't expect stupid technical difficulties like this to happen, but just part of the game, I guess. Try and make the next one at least long enough to fit all the way in the thing. There we go. Then let me do one more. You know, it'd be a lot easier if the Costco snack bar still sold churros. I don't know why they got rid of those things. It's like one of the best things there. Let me get a little bit more into these first two. All right. Now it says to let them cook and start checking at about 5 minutes. It says 5 to 8 minutes. So they're in there, and 5 minutes, we'll open this up. All right, it's been 5 minutes. Let's take a look. Yeah, those do look about done. Go ahead and take these out. I mean, they cook up okay. Seems to be a little bit of uneven cooking there, but what can you do? In the meantime, I went ahead and just made 4 more. And go ahead and cook these up as well. Like I said, that piping bag was a piece of junk, but we'll make do with what we have. Go ahead and close this. Let me try a bite before I put any flavoring on it. See, just texture, all that. Yeah, texture-wise, no. Churros are supposed to be fried. I'm sorry. But I do have some cinnamon sugar here, so let's go ahead and just fill up this container. Gonna roll it in the cinnamon sugar, not gonna shake it up like I did a couple weeks ago when I tested that donut machine and broke my donuts. See, another reason you want to fry them and not bake them is because when you toss them in cinnamon sugar after they come out of the oil, the cinnamon sugar has something to bind to. This, look at this, the cinnamon sugar has nothing to stick to, so it's not really sticking to it at all. Let me try it now and see if there's any difference. I mean, it's okay, but the cinnamon sugar, without having the oil and the liquid there to bind to and coming out, it just doesn't taste the same. You can't get as much. Not to mention the churros don't have that nice texture of being fried to them. It has more of a weird, cakey, almost doughy texture. Absolutely not a fan here. All right, let's take a look at this batch. Yeah, they have that same look to them. That one's stuck and broken half. The other 3 don't look half bad, I guess. Go ahead and sugar these ones up too. Just get plenty of that in there. Just kind of toss them around in the sugar. Get a little bit more on there. Yeah, and see, just falls right off. There's no point in using the sugar when it's just going to fall right off of there anyway. Yeah, just hard outside, doughy inside, and no flavor of sugar at all. Yep, low expectations, poor results. So anyway, I'm going to clean up a little bit, and then we're going to see if the Ambiano Churro maker can at least do one thing well. Now that we've learned that the Ambiano Churro maker can't really make churros, we're about to see if it's good for anything and find out, will it glizz? I've gotten it heated up. It dang well better glizz, considering the shape of these channels is just about perfect for it. So I'm just going to throw 2 hot dogs in and let it cook. All right, the hot dogs have been cooking for a little over a minute, so let's take our first look. I mean, they're cooking, getting some interesting grill marks on there. Kind of get them on their side. Close the lid, let them cook for a bit longer while I make sure they're nice and done. All right, time to do our next check on the hot dogs. All right, what I think our issue is here is because I can't close it all the way and it won't close evenly on the hot dog. One side of the dog is cooking well more than the other, so I'm going to flip them over. You see what's now the front of the hot dog, what was the back before, is about done, but the other side is going to need just a few seconds. These should be about done. Let's take a look. Yeah, those hot dogs are definitely done. So let me get a bun. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice stripes, horizontal stripes, all the way down the hot dog. Unplug that, close the machine. These are definitely nice and hot, so let me go ahead and take a bite. Pretty good. So yet again, here we have another cheap device I picked up that can cook a hot dog better than it can do its intended purpose. I'm going to eat these hot dogs and then I will be back to give you my final verdict on the Ambiano Churro maker. So before I pass judgment on this thing, real quickly I want to give you an idea of what we have coming up. Now a while back I said in November and December there's always a chance that if the life obligations just get to the point where I can't film a video this week, I'll try to get something out, some kind of alternative content, and if I have to do that, I'm sorry, life takes precedence. Luckily in November we didn't have to do that. I ended up doing that series on the Ronco Showtime rotisserie in order to be able to keep everything coming, and I'm going to try my best for December. One of the things we have coming up in December is possibly the most unique and rare item that I've managed to get my hands on yet. Something else we have coming up in December is the return of the product from one of our most popular videos we've put out so far. And you'll just have to stay tuned in order to see where we're going with that. So what is my final verdict on the Ambiano Churro maker? Well, to start, I have honestly been tired of these cheaply made novelty clamshell cooking devices. What do I mean by a clamshell cooking device? Well, look at the setup. It's basically two sides connected by a hinge with hot plates on both sides. Pretty much all of them claim to be able to make something, and they do it really, really badly. This is no exception. There is no reason to ever bake a churro. It just doesn't work. Like I said before, I'm not a fan of this brand at all. Pretty much every electric device for the kitchen that I've ever purchased from Aldi was low quality and cheap. This is no exception. However, I don't think any company could have made this device and done it well due to the fact that you're just not supposed to bake a churro. In order to get the proper texture, in order to make it where it holds the sugar on it, it has to be fried. Baking it just doesn't work. So therefore, this item, I 100% don't recommend it. I'm not keeping it. I'm not even going to try to sell it. I'm just going to send it right back to the thrift store so somebody else can discover exactly what a piece of junk it is. Well, thank you for joining us on today's edition of the Thrift Store Kitchen Review. Be sure to subscribe. Follow us on the Facebook linked in the description below. We are also on TikTok, so feel free to follow us there. It's also linked in the description below. Tell your friends about us. Leave us a line down there in the comments section. Get out there and support your local thrift store. And have a wonderful day.